with pure rage. And I found something else of interest, Daffy continued. Willem was suffering from congestive heart failure. Along with the gin, there was a significant buildup of fluid in his lungs. He didn't have much time to live. Months, a year maybe. I'll contact his physician, see if Willem was even aware of his prognosis. That makes you wonder who else might have known, and why he would kill a man who was on his way out already. Penny Pixel, meanwhile, had been digging into Penelope Pip Pickles. Turns out she has a long history of giving Piddlewick's gin terrible reviews, Penny reported. She compared Master Distiller Thistlewick's traditional blend to paint thinner with hints of artificial Christmas tree. So the question is, why would Willem even bother inviting her to his gin tasting? Barnaby and Woofington confronted Pip Pickles. I have no idea why Willem invited me to the tasting, she stated, coolly. What he was going to announce. We weren't exactly close. After the terrible reviews he'd given his gin in the past, in my humble opinion, Piddlewick's potent potions has always been all talk, no gimlet. Until now, that is. And with my effusive review, it will take the international market by storm. What makes the new gin so special? Barnaby asked. That is another mystery, Pip replied. All gin is just vodka, with a series of botanicals added in. But it's exactly what you add that makes a good gin excellent. I can't quite define the singular note at the back of the palate. It's something unusual, distinct, and distinctly unlike anything that Piddlewick's so-called master distiller could ever brew up. My guess is that Willem was going to announce out with the old and in with the new. And as we both know, Thistlewick is as old and stale as a martini with no olive. Penny called with more information. Devereaux's physician got back to me. She said she told Willem about his failing heart only a week ago. His estate lawyer said he was making significant changes to his will. So Melanie claims to have known nothing about her father's intention to change his will. Barnaby mused. She denies that she feared he was going to make an announcement she was being cut out. Like her brother Alistair, we have no concrete evidence linking her to the crime. Penny, apparently Pip Pickles was on the take. I've been combing through security footage of both the estate and the distillery. Penny confirmed. And I found this. Here's Pip, leaving the Piddlewick house the day of the tasting party. Bottle of the new gin in one hand, but what's in her other hand? An envelope? Could be the invite, could be cold, hard cash. Master Distiller Thistlewick was surprised that Willem would break his principles and cave to the old payola. Could be interesting to find out if and why he did. Barnaby and Woofington rushed to Pip Pickles' hotel room, only to find her unconscious, an envelope of cash lying beside her. She's alive, Woofington, but she needs help, Barnaby exclaimed. Go. Doctors think Pip was poisoned, Daffy reported later, and they're not sure when she'll wake up. The lab is doing a workup of the Piddlewick's gin found at the scene. They're looking for known toxins. It looks like the same bottle Pip left the Piddlewick mansion with. She'd already sampled the gin with me, Barnaby. She talked about a unique botanical, so it couldn't have been poisoned then. Plus there's this. Hotel surveillance footage of the hallway outside of Pip's room. Someone broke into her room and poisoned the open bottle. Any prints? Only Pip's on the bottle and the envelope of money. Hotel management is asking all their staff to check their keycards. One may have been stolen. What's the common thread? What motivated both attacks? Everything leads back to the announcement, right? What Willem was going to say. Willem told Thistlewick that a new ingredient in the gin changed everything. Barnaby mused. But nobody seems to know what it is. Could that be what the announcement was about? The lab could isolate it, but I mean it would take weeks. There is a quicker way. Let's put Woofington to the test. Barnaby set up a dog-sized bar, technically a media console destined for police auction, with several glasses of gin. The goal is to make sure that Woofington can distinguish the different blends. Barnaby explained to Penny. Each glass contains a different gin, and only one contains the new Piddlewick expression. So telling it from the rest means that Woofington can pick out the one secret ingredient. Woofington, with a theatrical sniff and a decisive nudge, identified the correct glass. He got it! Is he right? 100%, Penny confirmed, astonished. Wow, good boy. Woofington can definitely isolate the secret ingredient. After you could just tell us what it is, that'd be great. Woofington, with a triumphant bark, led Barnaby back to the distillery, straight to Minerva Pideluic's workbench, where he unearthed a small bag of dried weeds. And the secret ingredient is... some kind of weeds, Barnaby exclaimed, bewildered. But what kind? I've no idea. I've never seen this botanical before in my life. It's Rhododendron greenlandicum, Penny announced later, after a rapid analysis. It's from a plant commonly known as Labrador tea. So it grows locally? All across the island and the big land. First Nations people discovered it, used it as tea, and then it was later adopted by European colonists. Now, it's somehow become the secret ingredient in the Pideluic's gin. Or, it can also be toxic if consumed in high concentrations. Toxic enough to leave someone fighting for their life? Like pickles. I'll alert the hospital of the possibility. Barnaby confronted Minerva Pideluic. The new ingredient in your father's gin is Labrador tea, and there's little doubt that two crimes are connected. You must have known about this. Minerva, holding a tube of her Island Aesthetics hand cream, which listed Labrador tea as an ingredient, looked shocked. Dad always scoffed at my ideas. That's why I left the company. Did you find out that your father's stolen your idea? That he was changing his will and might cut you out? I had nothing to do with any of this. You have to believe me. I don't care if Dad stole my idea. I was going to take credit for it. I just can't believe he finally heard me, saw what I was capable of. That there was more in me than he ever acknowledged. Knowing that means everything to me. She had motive. She had opportunity. Barnaby mused to Penny. Yeah, the link between her and Pip is tenuous at best. We need something stronger. Someone linked to both attacks. Penny Pixel, ever the digital bloodhound, discovered a crucial piece of information. Barnaby, there are rumors that a big Japanese mega distillery is interested in buying Pideluic's potent potions, but there's no evidence that Willem even knew about the rumored deal. So someone other than Willem was managing the sale. Guess who flew to Tokyo 3 times in the past year? Jasper Pideluic, CFO and eldest son. And guess who's in the seepage item? Pip Pickles. Well, maybe that's why she was going to give the new gin such a good review. They're in a deal together. She promotes, he sells, and they both make a killing, and none of it works with Willem in the way. And with him gone, why keep Pip around, a CFO? It's his job to limit liability, especially if she's asking for more money to keep her silence. But it's all still conjecture, and we've got nothing we can charge Jasper with. Daffy quibbled, then called with a breakthrough. I just got the toxicology results from the gin found in Pip Pickles' room. Labrador tea? Not even close. Tetrazoline. It's almost tasteless. Lethal. Even in insufficient doses. And it's a key ingredient in eye drops. Jasper Pideluic, Barnaby exclaimed. But so do millions of other people. He could just claim that he was being framed. There's one scent that Woofington hasn't tracked down. None of us saw it, but it was in plain sight. Barnaby, with a sudden flash of insight, remembered the hotel surveillance footage of the hallway outside Pip's room, where someone had covered the camera lens with black spray paint. All spray paint is basically the same chemical makeup, right? He asked Penny. Yeah, the most commonly used are alkyds and acrylics, Penny confirmed. Of course, Barnaby said, holding up a small chip of black paint. My money is on Jasper for both these crimes. Now let's sniff out the truth and prove it. Woofington, after a careful sniff of the paint chip, led Barnaby straight to Alistair Pideluic's car. No, it's mine, Alistair admitted, looking terrified. Black spray paint, Barnaby said, holding up the chip. Is this what you used to cover the surveillance lens before you poisoned Pip? No, nothing to do with Pip, and what happened with my father.